Welcome to World of Darkness, San Andreas. In this series, we will be exploring the contents of the 3 World of Darkness sourcebooks, detailing the cities featured in the famous Grand Theft Auto franchise. We will be exploring the factions and conflicts of each of these cities, as well as merging them together into one larger coherent narrative, and then fleshing out those corners of the setting that are not detailed in these books. Our primary sources are thus San Francisco by Night, which details a war between the eastern and western vampires for control of the Bay Area. City of Angels, the setting sourcebook for Los Angeles for Demon the Fallen, and the supposed location of Lucifer, whom is being hunted by 2 great factions of demons that have gathered there searching for him. And finally, the Fallen Tower, Las Vegas, a setting sourcebook for Mage the Ascension that describes the city of Las Vegas and southern Nevada, where 4 chantries maintain a precarious political balance. You will also need the following books to be able to run this campaign setting at bare minimum, starting with Vampire the Masquerade, Kindred of the East, Mage the Ascension, Guide to the Technocracy, and Demon the Fallen, as well as the Mage Adventure Sourcebook Blood Treachery, which will serve as a catalyst to cause trouble between various factions. In this episode, we will be discussing the major factions of this campaign setting, as well as the NPCs that serve as their leaders. And so we shall begin most auspiciously with the new Promise Mandarinate. For over a century and a half, several key cities in the WoD territories of the August Courts have been under the control of the Western Canaanites. This led to ongoing political divisions amongst the WoD as to exactly how to respond. The 2 biggest factions to emerge were those who thought it would be wiser to retake their cities back home and deal with their own internal corruption and problems, while others sought revenge on the Canaanites and plotted a counter-invasion to take some of their western cities away. In the end, both of these factions would be given authority to pursue their ends, but the initial invasion of Los Angeles imploded dramatically when the tempest storm that swept the Dark Umbra annihilated much of the WoD's forces, staged and ready to attack from across the gauntlet. In the wake of this disaster, the leader of the other faction, the Fence Menders, a WoD by the name of Gigi Lee, was elevated to the rank of Ancestor and put in command of the invasion. Instead of pursuing the total war policies of her predecessor, she instead founded the new Promise Mandarinate, presenting it to the Kindred of Los Angeles as an alternative to the Camarilla and the Sabbat, appealing to anarchs and vampires of younger generations, who resented how age and generation prevented them from advancing through the ranks of kindred society, whereas the WoD practiced a more meritocratic form of ranking their society and determining who deserves which positions. Circumstances forced the new Promise Mandarinate to then try to invade San Francisco. While they have been able to successfully take the city and push the Camarilla out, San Francisco's importance to the Camarilla as a West Coast hub has prompted them to support a massive ongoing siege of the peninsula, uniting the princes of the surrounding cities in common cause to ensure that the WoD invasion does not spread any further out from the city of San Francisco itself. The Kindred of San Francisco are forced to hunt in controlled sectors, limiting their feeding opportunities and abilities to commingle. Their prince in exile is now Sarah Ann Winder, who was appointed by the Inner Council of the Camarilla. She is of Clan Ventru, and will travel back and forth between San Francisco and her base of operations in Oakland, as she supports those who remain loyal to the Camarilla within the city itself, while preparing to get the go-ahead from the Inner Council to enact her war plans to retake the city, providing arguably the greatest support to the Ventru efforts to retake San Francisco are the vampires of Clan Tremere. They have chantries in the region in Sacramento and Las Vegas, where they have taken captured WoD to experiment upon them and develop a system of magical wards that reduces the ease at which WoD are able to leave the city. All the major roads, bridges, and tunnels heading out of San Francisco feature these wards, limiting the WoD to air travel or the use of boats. which has served to create a Cathayan-free zone, as the Western vampires call it, forming an arc around the southern and eastern half of San Francisco Bay, from San Jose to Oakland. Luna Demian is the vampire in control of the regional Tremere, based out of the clan Chantry in Las Vegas. Las Vegas, ironically, is a hub for quite a lot of mage activity, with 2 other chantries located in the city itself, and 2 more in the surrounding desert. The chantry that will become most relevant to the Tremere is hidden in the Luxor Hotel, the Black Pyramid Chantry. Designed by the Masonic architect Malcolm Henry, the Black Pyramid Chantry is a hub for local mages of the traditions, and is intended to serve as an antenna to help decipher messages from the High Umbrood and the Rogue Council. The Order of Hermes controls the Black Pyramid, but does not exclude other traditions from its use or membership. Allies of the Black Pyramid are the traditional mages of the Big Spring Chantry, predominantly made up of verbena, under the command of Sarah Jameson, an environmental activist, who directs her chantry and its associated cabals to keep secret the location of the Big Spring node, somewhere on the borders of the Paiute Reservation. Further west in the Nevada deserts is the Advanced Energy Commission, a massive underground complex controlled by the technocracy, where Brigadier General Oscar Martin oversees developments of energy technologies, as well as oversight over void engineer activities at nearby Area 51. Here, housed in protective custody, one can also find George Corot. He is the most powerful voice in the Syndicate in this region, and via the internet remains in control of the Cloud Room, a Syndicate construct in Las Vegas. The Syndicate are technocrats with an interest in finance and money, and from the Cloud Room, dreams can be made or destroyed at the stroke of a keyboard. One of the reasons why San Francisco is important to Wan Kuei interest is it is one of the few locations in North America where new Kuei Jin are able to take the second breath. This is in large part due to the presence of an umbral connection to the Wicked City, hell of the Yama King Mikaboshi. His presence and interest in the city predates the new Promise Mandarinate, and he has converted several of the city's Wan Kuei and Gaki into his Akuma, his primary agent being the warlord Chan Te. Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, the rule of the new Promise Mandarinate goes unchallenged, the Camarilla having already ceded control of the city to the Wan Kuei prior to San Francisco's invasion. Here, many of the native kindred had belonged to the Anarchs faction, proven easier to manipulate and convinced to take membership in the new Promise. However, Los Angeles' Wan Kuei have a new and unexpected threat upon their threshold, in the form of 3 demon factions vying for control of the City of Angels. The Luciferans control the Infernal Court, whose goal is to locate Lucifer so that they may serve him. They are led by the tyrant Kishar, who wears the form of an aging black woman named Muriel Washington. She is of the demon house known as Scourges, and has been a loyal follower of Lucifer since the earliest days, although she has recently been troubled by the fact that her longtime demon lover has turned towards the path of reconciliation with God. The faction known as the Raveners control the Blood Court, under the rule of the tyrant Anat, who now goes by the name of Muriel Calvet. Anat hails from the house of demons known as the Fiends, and from her position as tyrant of the Blood Court, she directs the Raveners' efforts to find and capture Lucifer, so that they may extract their revenge for his betrayal when he failed to join them in the abyss for their long imprisonment. Playing both sides against each other in order to control the city from behind 2 thrones is a man named Scratch, a devil whose true name is Spentu Mai Inyu, who has connived his way into becoming the dragon minister of both courts. Neither a Luciferan nor a Ravener, as he will pretend to be depending on which company he keeps. Scratch is actually a Faustian, looking beyond the horizon and caring little about whether or not Lucifer is found, planning instead to turn human faith into a weapon against God himself. To this end, he has allied himself with a demon named Al-Lot. Al-Lot takes the form of a young woman named Xiao Yuan. She is a representative of the Cryptics faction, who has come to Los Angeles in an effort to gain control of their telecommunications hub, placing agents and gaining contacts within Hollywood's massive media ecosphere. Both Al-Lot and Spentu Mayinyu see the vast potential of power and control that influence over Hollywood can afford them. but it is only a matter of time before these demon courts come into direct conflict with the new Promise Mandarinate. These are the primary factions of the San Andreas campaign setting: the new Promise Mandarinate, the Camarilla, the Black Pyramid Chantry, the Big Spring Chantry, the Advanced Energy Commission, the Cloud Room, the Infernal Court, the Blood Court, and the Cryptics. But these are merely the most visible tip of the iceberg, and each faces threats from within and without, and all will be detailed as this series progresses. In our next episode, we will explore a starting setting for player characters in the heart of the San Francisco siege, around the famous neighborhood known as Haight-Ashbury. So be sure to hit like and subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications for more episodes. And until next time, thanks for watching. In the distant future of 1999, Amazon time barbarians fight to liberate the women of North America against vast armies of trolls and chads under the control of the Rogan Joe. This original tabletop role-playing game is thick with 2 C's. Available now on Amazon.com and DriveThruRPG.